You would face me for just a minute. Before we begin this morning's ceremony, I wanted to say just a word or two about why we're doing this. Many of you over the weekend and in the weeks leading up to yesterday had a chance on TV or perhaps in the newspaper or looking at magazines or just talking with other people to learn a bit more about what happened 10 years ago yesterday in the United States. It was a huge day for our nation. Students, look around as I ask this question. If you're an adult, would you raise your hand if you know exactly where you were 10 years ago on 9/11? Raise your hand. Thank you. Students, it was a very important day for our nation. So we're stopping this morning before we begin our hard work at Cedarwood for the week, just to recognize what happened and to learn a little bit more about that. And to help us with that is our Master of Ceremonies this morning, one of our scouts, Christopher Cox.
This morning we will be raising the flag to half-mast and listening to taps played by Brian Kavanaugh in honor of Patriot Day and to remember September 11th, 2001. We will then raise the flag back to full mast to conclude our ceremony. Will the audience please stand and remove all non-scouting uniform hats from for the presentation of the colors. Color Guard attention. Color Guard forward march. Color Guard halt. Color Guard present the colors. Scout salute. Those not in uniform, please place your right hand over your heart. Color Guard post the colors. You're going down. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. 2. We will now have a moment of silence and listen to Taps, played by Brian Kavanaugh, in honor of Patriots Day and remembrance of the 10th anniversary of September 11th, 2001. Please join us to the raising of the flag to full staff.
Thank you, Scouts. Thank you, Brian Kavanaugh. I would mention that Brian is a senior at Jackson High School at this point. And he took some time to come back here this morning to help us recognize 9/11 and Patriots Day. Students, it's hard to explain what happened 10 years ago. It's easiest for you to understand that there were people in the world who did not like our values, the idea that every individual in a country has the right to vote, the idea that men and women should be treated equally, the idea that in a country each of us has a right to our own religious beliefs and practices. And so, as a way of making a point, they took 4 airplanes and crashed them into different places in our nation. And what's most important, I think, for all of us to remember is how we as a nation and we as a world reacted to that. That throughout the United States, we came together as citizens. We said, we are a strong nation, we have common values, and one of those values is the freedom of expression in a safe and civil way. We also recognized that the nations around the world stood with us in our beliefs. Nations throughout Asia, nations throughout Europe, Africa, all came to the assistance of the United States at that time and said, we will help you, and together we will find the people who caused this problem, who behaved so uncivilly, and we will declare war on them. Students, the war that has gone on against that terror has gone on for 10 years. It's the longest war that the United States has ever fought. So what's our job? What's our job here at Cedarwood? Our job is to listen to the adults who we respect who are here to teach us, to learn about the values of our nation, to think about how do we as citizens of the United States take on that responsibility. How do we preserve and show our respect for and practice those beliefs of freedom and of civility. When we learn about Kelso's choices, that's how we practice solving problems in a peaceful way. And when we learn about our history, that's how we gain an understanding of where the people who have gone before us in our nation developed and established and supported our values. Students will finish our recognition this morning by asking Ms. Whalen to lead us in the singing of our national anthem. And I would ask all of us as citizens and as patriots to join in that singing. Ms. Whalen?
Please join me in the Star-Spangled Banner. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Ms. Whalen. Thank you to the Scouts and the Scout leaders of PAC 95. Thank you, students and staff and parents who assembled with us this morning, for taking time for us to just step back and remember what it is that is the foundation of the work we do every day at Cedarwood. Students, right now, would you turn and look at your teacher, and your teacher will give you directions to help you head back to your classroom.